Hey there guys, Antique Ford Dearborn Farmer here with a video on everything you need to know about a 9N. So to start right off, the 9N, which you all should know, was made in 1939. So if you can't tell, there's a little 9N, 1939, little contrast in between there. But anyways, they went all the way to 1942 when the 2N came out. That was due to World War II. That's the reason they changed to the 2N, and I'll tell you why here soon. But to start off, this is one of the first tractors with a 3-point system, which was made by Harry Ferguson. This system was revolutionary. It changed hooking up to implements. Like, instead of hooking up like your plow, it would take about let's say an hour, probably, depending on what kind of tractor you had. You could do it in a matter of minutes with this tractor. You back up to your implement, slide the 2-point or the bottom 2 hooks up, and the very top 3-point, hook it up, and you could do that in about a minute. And you could head off plowing, and you didn't have to take about an hour to 2 hours hooking up your plow. And it made unhooking way faster too. So this is why the 3-point system was so revolutionary. It just changed the tractor market for good. So to start off with the 9Ns, the characteristics that define the early ones from the later ones. So you can tell if you have an early 9N or a late 9N, or if you have a 2N. The 2Ns look just like the 9Ns, and the only reason they're different is because of the World War II. So start off here. This is a later 9N, and I'll tell you why. Because of these back axles right here, and the steering wheel, and the battery cover, which is right there, that little battery cover, and also the radiator cap. One thing that you'll probably never find, a really early 9N, the hood and the grill are different. I'll show you that. But anyways, to start off here, in the book of Ford and Fortson Tractors Buyer Guide, we'll start off with the very early 9Ns. These tractors, I tell you, these are hard to find. They'd be kind of cool to have one, though, because they're all aluminum hood and grill. Now, these are something else, I tell you. You hit something with them, they bend really easy. Also, these aluminum grills and hoods, they are pretty collectible. You can't find them. All collectors have pretty much already bought them up. And if you do find one, you got something on your hands, that's for sure. Also, one thing to note, these are the original tires on the early 9N. See how narrow they are? You got the one rib up front tires, and you got your narrow back tires with the nice cool design, which you don't see very often anymore. I don't know what they call that, but you won't find that on a tractor anymore because they're usually rotted off from sitting. But also another thing that'll probably come with the aluminum hood would be this chrome plated radiator cap. This is also continued past the aluminum hood, but usually these are lost, to be honest, because you take them off, you forget where you put them. Over time, they just, disappear. But, so anyways, that's another cool thing about them. So, what I'm talking about by these axles up here, this one's got like bolt holes right there, these little bolts that go around in the center. But anyways, that's what signals that it's a later tractor. These smooth axles are the early ones. These are harder to find. These tractors, another one of the key characteristics. You can't find them like this. If you can, I mean, they're not as rare. They're out there, I tell you. You can find them. I can go on Craigslist right now and probably find one, even though the tractor market's down a little bit right now due to winter. Also, the 4-spoke steering wheel. They put these on the trucks also for Ford, but these are on the early 9Ns, I think, if I remember right. And they went to these 3-spoke ones that are a little bit different, all metal. The only difference between this and the truck is that there's a horn in the middle of these, so that's interesting that they use, but that's what you do. Also, I know that some tractors use some parts from the trucks later on in the year. That's just how it goes, I guess. But also, the brakes and the clutch pedal. This will tell you the difference if you're trying to figure out if it's an 8N or a 9N. Because the paint's like that, the clutch and the brakes are on different sides. Like this side, the clutch is going to be on this side, the brakes are going to be on the other side. Usually, though, you have no problems telling the difference between a 9N and an 8N because they are painted different, and 8N's got a lot more on them, to be honest, different color and all that. But anyways, to continue on here, also the radiators on an early 9N are different. The pent roof style is what they call them. These are on the early 9Ns, but they changed it halfway through to pressurized. So that's one change there. Also, to tell the difference between a 9N and a 2N, you look at these badges right here. The top one's a 9N and the bottom one's a 2N. Now, if this is still on your tractor, you're pretty lucky because, like this tractor, they've not even existent. It's gone. It's right under the Ford symbol there where the 3 bolt holes are. That's where these would be. So that's how you also tell the difference between a 9N and a 2N. Now, some other characteristics, if the tractor is still in original condition, they will have steel wheels if they're a 2N. That's because of World War II. They went to the steel wheels, and you didn't have a starter. You had a crank start and magneto. So this was a little bit different. You wouldn't have a battery on the 2N either. So on the 2Ns would have a rougher ride and be a lot harder starting them on some days. So that's the major difference between these tractors. Also, let's go to where you can find your serial number. This will help you out when you're looking at your tractor. So anyways, on the right side when you're looking at it from the front, your serial number for a 9N will be on the side of the block, and it will state, like the picture says, 9N 12345. So you can start off with those numbers, and then you can go to tractor data or come back to this video, and right here I have the numbers. They're a little bit off compared to the tractor data here. Tractor data says, so this one says 89,000, mine says 88,000 for 9Ns. So that's, I don't know what the difference is. It's just, I want to believe this one more because this one actually tells me what the 960 numbers are back here. Where this tractor data won't even tell me that. This says it's not existent. So that's kind of what I've been looking into. I want to believe this one because this one came with a original Nebraska testing. This one's a print off, not the original, but Nebraska testing sheet for an 8N. So I want to believe this one's right, and also because it's got tractor and implement division Ford Motor Co on it. So I want to believe that one more than this tractor data. So also, tractor data, very helpful if you're looking at a tractor and you want to tell the difference between them. They have nice pictures on here. Tractor data is a place to go. They tell you everything. Original price, how many are built, and all that great stuff. But anyways, it also states your horsepower, your transmission, your wheelbase, even tells you all about your engine. These tractors have a 4-cylinder engine, flathead of course, and they produce like, let's see, 16 horsepower I want to believe. Yeah, 16 horsepower at the drawbar, belt's 23. And it could pull two bottom 14-inch plows. So that's about the 9N. Also, just to show you guys here what an early brochure of early 9N implements would look like. Doesn't even say anything about Ford because they're made by Ferguson. Even though the Ford tractor's the thing that's pulling it, they don't say anything about Ford in these brochures, which is kind of disappointing in my books. But later on, Ferguson and Ford split. So this is a Dearborn, or not Dearborn, this is a Woodbros corn picker now. The WIP, or WBIP. I got one of these corn pickers, to be honest, 2 of them. So if you look at my videos, later on there's 2 of them. But anyways, this is just early it's Ferguson implements is what they call them. There's Ferguson drill and all that kind of stuff, and it's the same kind of brochure. But anyways, that's how you can tell when you got a 9N or a 2N, guys. So also the 9Ns and the 2Ns look really similar, so this should, hopefully this helps you out with telling the difference. And I didn't jump around too much. I like to jump around a lot because there's a lot of information to cover. So, but anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And please comment, rate, and subscribe if you haven't.